I'm here today really not to talk about work or what I do during the day, although it will come up because it is my life. I'm really more here to talk about my experiences in the area and growing up. Oh, I'm in control, aren't I? See, I don't do this very much. So I have been freaking out about doing this presentation, and the other night I was having sushi and this was what was in my cookie. So clearly things are going to be good. I'm not sure who I'm supposed to look at or where. Those lights are crazy bright. So sidebar, so that I calm myself down and let you know that I'm just a guy trying to tell a story, to be very honest. So recently I went skydiving, and when I got out of my truck, I snapped this photo on my iPhone. Absolutely beautiful, idyllic scene. Then I went in and I signed my life away. And I came back out and I waited for what felt like was forever to see this sign right here. And I thought this was a good sign for today because I replaced skydiving and parachuting with collaboration and innovation. And you know, for a couple of years I've been talking about hanging this on my door at the office. But in all seriousness, what we do every day, striving to be better in businesses and as individuals, you know, it's rough. You go in with all the best intentions, and it doesn't always work out that way. So after what felt like hours, I got paired up with a cartoon character. This dude was 6 inches shorter than me and 40 pounds lighter. And what was born out of that was the greatest, most trusting collaboration of my life. I had to strap myself to this dude and drop out of an airplane and trust that everything was going to be all right. And kind of was all right. So let's get to some of the serious stuff. I'm hoping not to read any of this. This is just to keep me on track. I already talked about how I'm not here to yap about my latest projects or how I may or may not be hindering the progress of business and education. So this timer is killing me. So this is a statement that I didn't realize was in my bio. By the way, I don't know who sent that bio, but thank you. That was way more than I actually am. Progress is measured by the small steps we take every day to better ourselves and those around us. I don't know if I read that right, but I think what's more important is the each other part. I think what I do and what I strive to do every day isn't really focus on me as much as focus on other people. It's kind of an insecurity thing. Works out really well. I'm also a very inquisitive person, so I embody this through what I consider a tireless execution of this. And anybody that knows me and has seen me in the community or seen me at work or with my kids, you know, it's pretty much what I do. I reach my goals by helping people reach their others. So of course, in order to do that, I got to talk about me. So not me as in Thomas Obrey, but me as a person who had a pretty odd upbringing, and despite all of that, kind of turned out okay. So I'm a product of collaboration. That's my note. Some good, some bad. So all progress, right? So for starters here, I have this. I want to look over there. I'm 42 3/4. I'm going to be 43 in a few months in February. I'm from Dover, New Hampshire. If anyone didn't pick the accent up, it's not Southie, it's Dover. That's me in 1977 at 212 Washington Street, a place I spent a lot of years, and clearly not a handsome devil there. But Dover shaped me quite a bit. I was what you might call a misguided youth. I was always told I was a bright kid and I had a lot of abilities and I could do good things if I actually put my focus and my energy in the right areas. I didn't do that really, to be honest, until I was probably, I don't know, I'm still working on that. So this is me in 1983. I don't know if anyone's heard of an organization called Mayhew, but I was 13 years old at the time. This is Swamp Fox's second session. So this is a throwback to an organization. That's me, that Superfly cat. The skinny dude with all the red ribbons on the end there. The reason I wanted to bring this picture up is because I got involved with Mayhew because people that I didn't know took an interest in me and actually wrote a letter. Two people that didn't know each other took the time to write a letter to the program basically saying, here's a kid that if somebody doesn't intervene in his life soon, he's actually going to be a bigger problem than he already is. And that was my guidance counselor in 7th grade, Mr. Gray, and Ann Simpson, who was my probation teacher. Something like that. So, being honest. So those letters went to a guy named Al Cantor, and if it wasn't for Al, I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't be here today. I'm not really sure where I would be. I also was what you might call educationally challenged. Structured learning, no, not so much. I'd like to go to school someday, again, but I just, structured learning wasn't for me, When I found out I was going to be a sophomore for the third time, I wasn't down with that. So, but again, in school, some people helped me out. Mr. Julian, Miss Castellan, Mr. Drinkwater. I remember in 7th grade, my math teacher, we did this aptitude test where I was in remedial math in 7th grade in Dover, and I did this big test, and I come in, and Mr. Drinkwater goes, "I want to talk to you." So I go in, and we're sitting down, we're chatting, and he shows me this paper, and he goes, "It's got a 53. He's like, "You know what that is?" I go, "A fail?" It was algebraic. I'm not sure what they call the fancy math, but it was an aptitude test to see what would happen. I think it was 8th grade, actually. If I had the grades and I went to high school, what class I would be in. He was mad at me because I scored in the top 5% of all of the school in mathematics on an aptitude test, and that I didn't actually have the grades to carry that. And what's interesting about that, and the reason I'm telling you that story, is because, again, it was another one of those times where somebody took the time to sit me down when I really didn't want to be sat down and tell me that I needed to cut the shit and get going. I'm sorry. So to pay it back a little bit, I actually recently had an opportunity to collaborate with the Department of Education, which was actually super cool. They called me, a bunch of other local agencies that do what we do, and they asked if we would come in and help them retool the technology program in the state's high schools. I was like, yeah, absolutely. It was amazing, and I can say today that the courses that started this fall in New Hampshire State, I actually have a fingerprint on, and I'm actually very happy about that, and so will every teacher that I know is watching this online right now. I actually put this on Facebook, I told, mostly for my mother, but I really did. So that was cool, but all was not lost. This is me. I don't know if you can see me there, the side profile on the far right. I actually got an honorary degree from Great Barrier Community College last May. And you can't really see it that close, but I'm pretty sure I'm about to cry. So, after 22 years of practice as an adult, I finally got something. And when I went up on stage and they asked me if I wanted to say something, I was like, "Ma," because my mom was there. So I'm like, looky. So that is proudly on my mantle. And again, I don't know how that happened, but this isn't about me. These are about instances where people that didn't know me or barely knew me or saw something in me that I didn't see in myself took the time to actually care. And that's a big deal. Like many of you, I'm a parent. For those of you that aren't parents, I'm a kid. So these are my animals right here. I did paint that by myself, so thank you, Google and Walmart paints. So these are my kids, and the reason I like to show these kids is because at the end of the day, I'm a dad. I run a business, which we'll get into, and I had a lot of challenges as a youth growing up, and I've done everything wrong, but at the end of the day, when I go home, this is kind of what it's all about, folks. And my kids teach me a lot. They teach me that I am not cool. They teach me that I make mistakes, and they teach me that I need to be present at every moment that they're asking me a question. And sometimes that sucks, but that's the reality. At work, I just shut my door. So this is through the eyes of my son, Jack. This is what he thinks my day is. I told him to help me schedule my day. So, I'm not going to be all serious. I didn't want to spell correct him. So, it's kind of awesome, actually. But, I do wonder nowadays, this is Jack during his birthday a couple of weeks ago. This was his birthday present, and within a minute, this is where he was, curled up on the couch. He had it on the net. He asked me what Netgear was. He goes, "Daddy, is Netgear the internet?" So he's on the internet, and he's on YouTube, and he's watching Tom and Jerry, and I thought for a second that, is this okay? Is technology helping or hurting us? I think often that technology is put up as a blocker, and I think that it's become this replacement for real interactions with people, like we're doing here today, And I have to admit, as a parent, sometimes I use that as a crutch. in an experiment, right? I'm experimenting with my kids. I'll write a book one day on that. So, but that's Jackson. And what she was referencing in the back room was my kids know I've been freaking out about this. And I actually do have some cool stuff that I'm not going to read because I already passed it. But they all left me a video on what to do because I'm nervous. Jack said, Dad, what I do when I'm nervous, I just close my eyes and think of something good. And my son Dylan said, what I do, Dad, is just think everyone's in their drawers. We call them drawers. My son Mason goes, I like to think I'm in my drawers. So, anyways, I only have 7 minutes left. So I happen to be a business owner. I have to accelerate this. I technically get to 20. That's what you guys told me in an email. So I happen to be a business owner. I sort of fell into it. This is a statement that's actually in my business partner's office. It's something that we talk about and read every day. To make it big, to be different, to push forward, you have to be different. People won't think it works. When I quit Cabletron to start Pixel Media, the first thing all my adult friends said was, dude, no benefits. And, I made it work. This is my partner and I. We were about this young when we started it. I actually have a shirt exactly like that in my house, which is proof that nothing's changed, not even my hair. So this is a picture of our very first check. This is what I call my malnourished mustache phase. And this is the first check we got as a business that we didn't have to give back. The first check we actually had to give back, and that's an important lesson for today as well. When you get into a situation where you put your foot in your mouth, the best thing to do is pull it out, turn around, apologize, and get out of the situation. We actually got into a project that we couldn't do. It was apparent in the first meeting. You guys understand, I run and started a business whose very foundation is to be collaborative. We were multimedia back in the day, and now we do other stuff. And we're called upon every day. The business we started, if anyone knows what we do, every day it's about collaboration. Every day it's about innovation. I have clients that call me hey, I'm going into a board meeting in an hour. What do you got? Make me look like a hero. And I'm like, oh my God. I can't make you look like a hero in an hour. But I do. We send them a few tips, send them a few links, and everything works out. The very nature of what we do every day is about collaboration. And outside the business, it's about the people that we interact with every day. And I think we forget that. This is him and I this week. Yes, I was the last guy to put my deck in. Handsome devil, I am. No, he is. So part of the collaborative nature of our business is that about a year ago we started something called Lunch and Learns. And Lunch and Learns were kind of unique in the sense that what we did was we brought a subject matter expertise that was in the office into a big room that we had, and we invited all of the employees. It's no relevance to this picture. I'll get to that. I apologize. I'm a little ahead of myself. And we let employees teach everybody else what they're working on. So responsive web design, search marketing, video as content, you name a topic, we do it. And that morphed into what we call our expert series, where we bring people in from around the world that actually inspire us. So instead of just sitting in a room and talking with each other, we decided to go outside, find some people like Ethan Hawke and Ethan Marcotte and Josh Clark and the founder of Drupal, who's coming up in a couple of weeks, and we invite 150 people to just come in and listen. Competitors, friends, coworkers, clients, we don't care who it is. These are people that drive our inspiration, and we bring them in because we think it's important to share that in the community. Again, it's about making connections. It's not about making money. It's not about the next invention. It's not about any of that. It's about making connections with people. It's about feeling inspired to do or think or act a little differently. Not in your job, but maybe at home or maybe on the street, or maybe when somebody needs your help, or maybe when a friend is in need. It's about that. It's not about work. Okay? We work because we have to pay our bills because we have toys and we like toys. If we didn't have toys, we wouldn't work. This is a space that we're building out to expand that. We can only fit about 125 people into the space, so this is a 2,700 square foot space that we're building out for the sole purpose of growing from 100 people to 200 people. And this will be actually done in January. The reason I want to show this to you is because this in itself is explicitly and nothing else just a collaboration space. That's what we're there to do. Get people together. It's not just for us, it's for nonprofits in the area. It's for you. If any cat in here wants to come in and have a session in there and invite somebody in, let me know. My email's up there for you all to see. It's a place to congregate. And that's a big deal, again, to share stories. It's my belief that there really isn't anything more important to your future than the relationships that you form every day. I'm not reading any of this cool stuff that I wrote, by the way. So, relationships are a big deal, folks. If you don't think so, get in trouble and find somebody to bail you out. Not of jail, but I mean out of trouble. That's a different topic for another day. So, people took an interest in me when I actually didn't even care about myself. Those are the relationships that I treasure. Teachers, friends, coworkers, strangers who were in a worse place than me, but I formed a connection with. Some of my best friends I've met randomly in the lobbies of hotels when I was at events, and to this day I still talk to them. Brian Tooley, Rob Atherton. You know, these are real heroes. These are people that teach me things. And who doesn't want to be looked up to, right? And if you're not looking up to somebody, is somebody looking up to you? Because that's really important to remember when you're going through your day with all our ticky-tacky toys. This is a statement that has been made a few times. Marcus Luttrell talks about it in his book, Service. Christopher Alexander, a very, very famous architect, talks about it in The Nature of Order, which is this concept that we all are searching for order that already exists in nature. Is there glue here or something? So this is a big deal for me because this fundamentally changed how I looked at people and how I approached situations of collaboration, specifically inside and outside, to celebrate the 90 and accept the 10. All too often, folks, we spend time bitching about the stuff that separates us instead of embracing the stuff that joins us, because we're all just people, right? A thought, a lesson, a connection, these things, we overlook this stuff way too much. I went on a field trip a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to go over. Is there going to be music and stuff? Tell me to stop. Okay. I went on a field trip a couple of weeks ago, and with my son, it was the first one I ever went on to Squam Lake. It was 30 degrees out, and one of the kids there was a young girl. Honestly, she couldn't have been more than 60 pounds, and she had a T-shirt on and a windbreaker on a mountain. And I was like, wow. Wow, that's crazy. So I walked around freezing my stuff off for 5 hours so this girl could wear my jacket. And when my jacket didn't help, I picked her up and I carried her through this Squam Lake Science Center. I'll never forget that. And you want to know what? When I go to the school every day, when I am picking up my boys, she comes out and she gives me a hug. Worth everything. Is my slide going to stop? It's flashing end. I'm not Superman, folks. I'm certainly no superhero like this cat is. But there are times in your life when you can be that person to somebody, and it takes a lot to remember that. I believe in being more interested in the idea. If you guys want to shut me off, that's cool. Be more interested in the ideas of others and not yourself. Every time we get into a room, we feel like we have to tell everybody what our idea is. Don't worry about it. You know what your idea is. What you don't know is what their idea is. And you don't know how much their idea is going to reshape yours in work and in life and as a parent. And doing this all the time is tiring, you know. It is. It's exhausting. But if you have passion and you truly care and you really want to make a difference, you'll never be exhausted of this. I'm going to go through this. This is my life every day, folks. 60 employees, 60 lives, 3,600 perspectives. That's what we deal with in the business, out in the wild. This is my parting word for you guys. My wish is that one day you see someone you inspired on this very stage, sharing their stories and their thoughts that you know you had an influence on. Someone that would never in a lifetime get that chance, right? That's innovation. That's collaboration. And that would be special. Thank you.